Statements. The C++ statements includes four different statements, four types of statements: expression statement, labeled statement, control statement, and guarding statement. So we will be getting more in control statements. Control statement is divided into selection statement, iteration statement, jump statement. Okay, so expression statement is just like A is equal to B plus C, like that statements. If I am creating a statement with that, it is known as the expression statement. Label statement are the statements which has got a label in it, that we are not going deep into that. Okay, we will be mostly discussing about this control statements, selection, iteration, and jump statements. Selection statements are if else, and switch. Iteration statements, that is a loop. Okay, iteration statements are while, do while, for. Okay, jump statements are break, continue, and return. Let's move on. Control statements. The selection statements. The first one is the if statement. As we already knew, if we want to test something, and depending upon that test, if we want to execute some set of statements, that is known as the if statement. Okay, there are different various types of if statements in C++. If statement, if else statement, nested if, and if else if ladder. So first one is the if statement. The syntax is like this: if one condition, and if that condition is true, set of code to be executed. Otherwise, it will go to the control. If the condition is false, it will go to the after if statements. Okay, in this case, this is a flowchart of this if statement. The condition is checked here. If the condition is true, then the code which is written inside this if, inside these curly brackets, will be executed. Otherwise, it will skip these statements, and it will go to the statements after if. This is an example of this. In this, num is equal to 10. If num modulus 2 is equal to 0, then it will execute this thing. So here it is written that it is even number. The number modulus 2 is equal to 0 means it is a even number. If I am giving 10 here, it will produce a result as it is even number. If I am giving the num value as 3 or 5, something like that, it will not produce output like this. It will not produce any output at all. The next step is if statement is if else statement. Here the syntax is like this: if one condition, else another condition, another set of statements. If this condition is true, the code of this inside these curly brackets will be executing. Otherwise, if the condition is false, it will execute the other part. Okay, so the flowchart is like this: the condition is checked. If it is true, it will execute one set of statement. If the condition is false, it will execute another set of statement. So in C++, you have to write like this: if one condition, it can be an expression. Okay, if this condition is true, set of statement must be there. Otherwise, it will. The example here we can see num modulus 2 is equal to 0. This is the condition. So if the condition is true, then it will print what? It is even number. Otherwise, it will, if the condition is not true means it is num modulus 2 is not equal to 0. Normally the odd numbers have the 1, the num modulus 2 will become 1. So if it is not equal to 0, we are mentioning that it is odd number. So in this case, the number is equal to 11. So this condition will be false. So the set of statements which is written inside the else statement will be executed and will print what it is. It is odd number. another example. That same thing, we are getting the number from the user. Okay, so enter the number, C in num. So we are getting the number from the user, and num modulus 2 is equal to 0, then it is an even number, otherwise it is an odd number. So if we are executing this program with whenever we are it is waiting for a number, then if we are giving the input as 11, it will produce the output as odd number. And if I am executing this with an input of 12, then it will be printing what? It is even number. Next is nested if. Nested if is nothing but an if statement inside another if. Okay, so in this we can see if boolean expression 1, it will be executed if the boolean expression 1 is true. If you have mentioned any expressions here in this place, it will execute whenever the boolean expression 1 is true. Okay, and there is another if inside this if. This is known as a nested if. This set of statements will be executing only if the boolean expression 1 is true and boolean expression 2 is also true. Then only this set of statements will be executed. Next is if else if ladder statement. It is just like a ladder. This one condition is there, if condition. Okay, if the condition is true, this code will be executed. Okay, else if means what? Else if this condition is not true, then it is checking another condition true. Okay, if this condition is true, then we will be doing what? If the condition is true, this code will be executing. Okay, so this set of this code will be executed only if the condition 1 is false and condition 2 is true. Okay, now in this case, this one will be executed only if condition 1 is false, condition 2 is false, and condition 3 is true. Okay, and at last we have the else part. If none of these conditions are true, then this else part will be executed. So this is known as the if else if ladder statement. Okay, so this is what our flow chart. Okay, condition 1, it will check whether the condition 1 is true. If it is true, then it will execute the statement and it will go after the if else if ladder, the next statement after the if else if ladder. Okay, if it is false, then it will check the next condition 2, and if it is true, it will execute this one and it will go to the next statement. Otherwise it will check the next one like that. And if the last condition is also true, then it will execute this one. Otherwise, if the last condition is also not true, then it will go to the last statement, and it will execute it and it will go to the next statement. So this is the execution of if else if ladder. So here is an example of this thing. Okay, here actually we are going to check whether the given number is in which grade. Okay, so if we are giving here we are giving the number in num. Okay, if it is number is less than 0 and greater than 100, it is an invalid number. The maximum value is 100 only, so we can give only 0 to 100. So if I have given number is less than 0 and number is greater than 100, then it is a wrong number or invalid number. Okay, so if it is 0 to 50, it is printing what? Fail. So if we have given the number as if this is not true, then only it will go to the sec. Okay, so if this condition is true, then it will execute this one. Okay, this condition is false, then only it will check the next condition num. greater than or equal to 50 and num less than 60, it is D grade. Okay, if this also not true, it will check the next one. If this also not true, this will check the next one. If this also not true, it will go to the next one, like that it will go, and it will reach the last. So here we can give either else if, or here we can give the else. So if we are executing this program using the input as 66, it will produce the C grade. Why? Because it is not true, this one is not true, this one is not true, and this one is the correct one, 60 and 70. So it will produce the output as C grade. And if I am giving the number as -2, what will happen? It is in between less than 0, it is less than 0 only, so it will produce the output as wrong number. The next statement is our switch statement. Okay, it is just like our if else if ladder. Okay, so here the syntax is like this: switch one expression, case value 1, break. Okay, if the expression is equal to this value 1, then this code will be executed. And if the expression is equal to value 2, this code will be executed. If none of this expression is not equal to any of these values provided in this case, then it will execute this last one, that is the default one. If no cases are matched with this expression, then this code will be executed. So here we can see the expression is here. Okay, this expression is matched with this thing, then the statement 1 will be executed and it will reach the statement break and it will go to the end of switch statement. Next one is the case 2. It is checking whether this expression is equal to case 2 or not. If it is matched, then it will execute. This statement 2 will be executing and will reach the break and will exit. Okay, like that it will be. And if none of these cases are matched, it will be executing this statement and it will reach the break and it will end it. Normally this default we will produce at the end of the switch statement. Okay, this is of switch statement. Here we can see cout, enter number to check this grade. We are getting the number here in number. Okay, num. So we are giving the expression here and the value in this here. Okay, so if num is equal to 10, then it will produce what? It is 10. Okay, and it will reach the break and it will break from the switch. If the num is equal to 20, it will produce output as it is 20. It will reach break and it will go outside. Okay, if num is equal to 30, then it will produce the output as 30 and it will break from it. Okay, if none of these cases are matched, then it will produce the output as not 10, 20 or 30 and it will also break from the switch. Let's get an output here. Okay, if enter the number to check grade, if I have produced something like this, if I have given the value as 10, then it will produce the output as it is 10. Now if I have given the input as 55, it will produce the output as the default one, that is not 10, 20 or 30. So we have discussed the selective statements, which are if statements and the switch statements. Now we are going to see the iterative statements, while, do while and for. So in this case we have already seen in that programming introduction That is, while one condition, this syntax is like this: while one condition, this code will be executed. Whenever this condition is true, the statement will be executed again and again. Okay, if whenever the condition is false, it will exit from that loop and it will go to the next statement after the while. Flowchart here we can see the condition is checked here. If the condition is true, then it will execute the statement. It will reach the condition again, so it will be executing in a loop. If you are using if here, it will execute only once, but if you are giving while here, it will be a loop. Okay, whenever the condition is false, it will go for the next set of statements. So let's see one example. So here we are going to print the table of 1. Okay, so we are going to print a table of 1. I is equal to 1. Okay, print the table of 1 into 10. Okay, the last value will be 1 into 10. Is equal to 1. While I less than or equal to 10, it will print what? Cout I. So if you are mentioning like this, I is equal to 1, 1 will be less than or equal to 10, cout 1. So it will be printing what? 1 here. Now what we are doing, I is incremented here, I plus plus, I is incremented here. So what will happen? I's value will become 2. So again it will reach here, 2 is less than or equal to 10. Okay, the condition is true, so it will go here. Okay, it will go until i's value becomes 10. Okay, so i's value is 10, so it will print the 10 here. Then okay, what will happen? I's value will become 11. Now in this case, what will happen? 11 is not less than or equal to 10, so it will break the loop and it will go to the last after while. Next is a nested while loop. Nested while loop means what? Like the nested if, the nested while loop is a while loop inside another while loop. Okay, if we are using a while loop inside another while loop, it is known as the nested while loop. Okay, here is an example of while loop, nested while loop. Here we can see int I is equal to 1. Okay, while I less than or equal to 3, int j is equal to 1. While j is less than or equal to 3, how many times it will be executed? This I is always in this loop, I is equal to 1 now. Okay, j is equal to 1. Then what happens? J is less than or equal to 3. So what will happen? 1 will be printed here, and here the 1 will be printed. Okay, j is incremented, j's value will become what? So it will go to the again to this condition. Okay, so now j's value is 2. 2 less than or equal to 3? Yes. So it will print what? What is the value of I here now? 1. So 1 and 2 will be printed here. And j's value is incremented, j become what? 3. Okay, 3 is less than or equal to 3. So it will produce output as 1, 3. Okay, now what will happen? J's value will become 4. 4 is not less than or equal to 3, so it will break this loop. Okay, and it will reach the next condition, next statement. So what is it? I plus plus. So now the i's value is what? 2. Okay, so it will again go to this while. Okay, 2 is less than or equal to 3? Yes. So what it will do? J's value is initialized with 1. Now i's value is 2, j's value is 1. Okay, 1 less than or equal to 3, it will produce what? 2 and 1. Okay, that is the output. Okay, again j is incremented, it will produce the output as 2, 2. Again j is incremented 2, 3. Okay, again what happens? That loop is broken, then it will increment the value of I. Okay, it will reach here and 3 is less than or equal to 3. So this will execute as such. Okay, 3, 1, 3, 2, 3, 3. and then what happens, 3 is increment, the I is incremented to 4. So 4 is less than or equal to 3 is false, so it will reach for the end of this thing. So it will produce the output as this. Let's see one infinite while loop example. If we are giving a condition which is always true, then it will execute infinitely. Okay, while one condition which is always true, if I am giving like this, the loop will be executing infinitely. If we are pressing Ctrl C only, it will stop it. So while giving the condition, you need to check whether it will reach an end of that, or sometimes when it will become when it we have to check whether it will terminate or not. Okay, depending upon that condition. Next is our C++ for loop. For loop is nothing but the initialization part will be written here, semicolon, the condition will be checked here. Okay, the condition and increment and decrement operations of these initialized variables also inside us. Okay, for initialization, condition, increment and decrement. Okay, if this condition is true, then only this code will be executed. This is also an entry control loop, while loop also entry control loop, because before entering into the loop, it is checking whether the condition is true or false. This is an example of C++ for loop. Okay, hash include IOStream. We can see the for loop here. Here what we have seen, for int I is equal to 1, I less than or equal to 10, I plus plus, cout I. So here what happens is the initialization part is given here. So I is initialized with what? 1. So the initialization of the item area I have initialized as 1. Okay, the condition is here. Okay, so what will happen? It will only at first only this initialization part will be executed. So what will happen? Int I is equal to 1 will be executed first, then it will check whether this condition is true or false. So here in this case, 1 is less than or equal to 10, so it will execute the loop. So what will happen? Cout I means what? The I's value is now 1, so it will produce output as 1. And now after this, what will happen? I is incremented. After this execution, the I will be incremented and I will be reaching until what? 2. Okay, so 2 is less than or equal to 10, then it will produce what? 2. And it will increment the I and produces a 3, and the condition is checked, 3 less than or equal to 10, like that it will be executing. Okay, at last what happens? I's value will become 10. Okay, 10 is less than or equal to 10, that's also okay, so it will produce output as 10. Now what will happen? I value is incremented. What is the value of I now? It is 11. Okay, so 11 is less than or equal to 10, which is false, so it will break the for loop and it will reach for the last line. So as in the case of nested while loop, we have the nested for loop also. That is inside the same thing that we have seen earlier, we have implemented it using the for loop. Okay, it will produce output like this. So for int I is equal to 1, I equal to 3, I plus plus, j is equal to 1, j less than or equal to 3, j plus plus, cout I j. Okay, so it will produce the same output as the while loop. So the execution also like that. the infinite for loop, if we want to make it as a infinite for loop, we can give the thing like this. Okay, so just semicolon semicolon without any condition. If we are giving, it will become what? Infinite for loop. Now this one, this iterative statement, do while loop. This do while loop is the exit control loop. Means what? It will check, it will be executing at least once. Okay, after executing the statements only it will check the condition, and if it is true it will again do the statements, and it will again check the condition. It will again check whether it is true or false. If it is true, then it will go to the statement. Like that it will be executing. But the case is that at least once the statement will be executed. So the syntax is like this: do while condition semicolon. Okay, so do is here, the condition, the statements to be executed is here, while condition. Okay, so what happens is it will execute these statements first, then it will check whether the condition is true or false. While loop example, here you can see do cout I plus plus, I is less than or equal to 10, it will execute as same. Okay, so it will print the I here, it is incrementing the value of I here, and will produce the output like this. Okay, it will execute it first. Okay, then only it will check the condition. So let's say if I have given the value 11 here, what will happen? If I have given i's value as 11, what will happen? What will be the output here? Will it print 11 or will it print nothing? It will print 11 here, I is incremented, and what will happen? 12, it will be incrementing it into 12, and now it will check what 12 is less than or equal to 10 or not. Okay, so even if this condition is not true, this will execute at least once. The output will be what? 11. But in this case, in this for loop, what will happen? Let's say I have given the value as 11 here. For in I is equal to 11, I less than or equal to 10, I plus plus. If I have mentioned like this, then what will happen? This will not executed, or the output, there will be no output here. Okay, that is the main difference between the entry control loops and the exit control loops. Entry control loop means what? It will be checked. It will be checked at the beginning of the execution of. Okay, and exit control loop means what? It will check only after the execution, single execution of this thing. Okay, so this will produce 11, and if you are using the for loop, it will not produce any output at all. And here is our nested for loop, nested do while loop. Nested do while loop, you can see here a do while loop inside another do while loop as before. So the same thing we have implemented here also, as we have done earlier. The same thing, the same output using the do while loop. Infinite do while loop, infinite do while loop, just like our while loop. If I am producing the condition as true, then it will become what? Infinite do while loop. Now we have discussed about selection statement, iterative statements. Okay, what are the selective statements? If and switch. If statements and switch statement. And in iterative statements are for loop, while loop, and do while loop. Okay, and the third set of control statements are jump statements. The first one is a C++ break statement. whenever we have to exit from a loop, okay, upon one condition, what will happen? We will give one break to it, and if the condition is true, then we will break. Like that we will create it. Okay, let's see one example. So this is one for loop here, and in this for loop you can see if I is equal to 5, that is, if I and 5 are equal, then we have mentioned that you have to break. This condition is true, then we have to break. Like that we have mentioned. So what will happen if I is equal to 1? This will execute. 2 will be executing. 3 will be executing. 4 will be executing. When I becomes 5, what will happen? It will break. Okay, it will reach the break here, then it will break the loop and go outside the loop. Okay, just like this it just will be executing. So the output will be what? 1, 2, 3, 4 in this case. Okay, and the C++ break statement with an inner loop. What will happen if you are mentioning 2 for loops like this? Okay, and inside this nested for loop, okay, we have mentioned one break here. So what will happen if it is breaking here? It will reach outside this inner for loop only. It will not exit from the outer for loop. Okay, it will do what? It will reach only. It will reach only what? Inner. It will if the condition is true, it will reach only until this thing. Okay, the outer loop will be executing as normal. Okay, now C++ continue statement. Continue statement is continue. Okay, continue semicolon. Okay, it is also a jump statement. Okay, this continue statement is doing what? It will skip. If the condition is true, it will skip that iteration. Okay, so let's see the working of this thing. For int I is equal to 1, I becomes what? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and I became what? 5. Okay, I is equal to 5. So what if I is equal to 5, it is mentioned that continue. So what will happen is, from here it will jump from here to the starting of the for loop. In break, what will happen? It will jump to the end of that loop. But here what happens is, it will continue. It will skip the entire set of statements after this continue. Okay, it will move to the for loop, and it will increment the value I is equal to 6 and 7 etc. until 10. So here, as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4 is a 5. It skipped because of this continue. It has reached the it has continued from here. Okay, 5 is not printed. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, it is printing all the other things. Now in this case, the continue statement with the within inner statement, what will happen? This continue will reach only the inner loop. Okay, and will continue the other operations. It will skip only those iterations only. If I is equal to 2 and j is equal to 2 only, it will skip. Okay, now next jump statement is the go to statement. Go to statement is also known as jump statement, normally jump statement. So it is used to transfer the control to the other part of the program. It unconditionally jumps to a specified label. So it will unconditionally, okay, it will jump to that label. Okay, so here we can see, let's say if age is less than 18, go to ineligible. If age is less than 18, go to ineligible. So it will jump to ineligible label. Okay, go to ineligible means what? It will jump to the ineligible label. Go to and one label is there. Okay, so here is our label. Okay, ineligible colon. Okay, here is our label. And so if the age is less than 18, then it will jump to this ineligible. Okay, then it will start executing like that. It will be okay. So it will jump to this whenever the statement is executed. It will jump to this thing. Okay, and this is known as what? This statement is known as the labeled statement. Okay, so now we have reached the end of this C++ statements. We have seen the control statement. Let's see. Okay, we have seen the C++ statements, expression statements, label statement, control statement, guarding statement. Okay, we have extensively seen the control statements: selection, iteration, jump. Selection statements are those if, else, and switch. Iteration statements are while, do while, for. Jump statements we have seen: break, continue, and go to. Okay, thank you.